food costs enormously.
Of course.
All of my expenses went down. The beauty of what we do from a business standpoint is I've turned the restaurant model upside down.
Yeah.
A traditional restaurant on a Thursday night, they have to have food for 100 people. Well, guess what? If only 30 people walk through the door, they still have food for 100 people. They still have staff for 100 people. And what happens to your bottom line after that happens?
Yeah.
It's garbage. You're totally screwed. And you might have those 2 great nights, but all those other nights, you have to prepare for a great night. And if a great night doesn't happen, you're done.
Yeah.
So, I'm speaking from experience because this is what I did for years. And it's what every restaurant does. And if you're fortunate, you'll make great money doing that. So, if you look at what the national average is on restaurants for food cost and just net profit, the national average net profit for a restaurant in a traditional restaurant model is 5 to 10%. Ours is 15 to 20.
Wow.
Food cost is 25 to 35%. Fine dining is really up there. But of course, those numbers are higher. Ours is 12 to 14%. Why is it like that? It's like that because I know exactly how many people are coming every week.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
It's a lot more predictable.
It's you taking all the guesswork out.
Yeah.
Of it. Now, of course, I always pad my numbers a little bit, but even still, on Saturday night, when I walk out of my restaurant and I look in the walk-in, there's hardly anything in there that's going to go bad.
Right.
And that is the key. And that's why we've been so successful doing it with this model. And people look at me like, well, how can you do this just 2 nights a week? Well, here's why. And what I just told you is exactly why.
It's funny. I feel like I've thought of this idea 3 times that you've been talking throughout this interview is the mother of innovation is necessity.
Absolutely.
So you had the point in your life when your son was 1 year old and you're like, I'm not going to be around enough that I want to in his life. And so something needs to change. You felt a level of necessity. And then that led to the creativity and the innovation of the idea. And there was another time, and then same thing here is like, we are either going to be closed and we're going to completely change careers or something needs to change. And then you had the creativity and the innovation of like, let's just do the Friday and Saturday event. And it worked. And so oftentimes we see necessity or we feel like that back against the wall is a terrifying thing, and it is a terrifying thing, but at the same time, if you approach it correctly, then it can lead to unbelievable creativity and unbelievable innovation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's exactly what you said. Necessity is the mother of invention. Of course it is. That doesn't mean it's not terrifying.
Of course.
I mean, life is terrifying.
Yeah.
But you got to be brave. And you got to face it head on, no matter what the challenge is. If you don't face it and you run from it every time, you're going to fail.
For sure.
Bottom line, you're going to fail.
For sure. So is it still just Friday, Saturday right now?
Friday and Saturday nights, and we do events the other nights. We do private events.
That's
Sunday
amazing.
through Thursday. Christmas time, we'll run 20 nights in a row just with private events.
Okay.
And it's great. So, for a private event, like, Sunday through Thursday, you need to guarantee us 30 people to do a private event. But if you got 30 friends, you could come in and have that entire experience to yourselves. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, this is great. I'm totally having my anniversary party. We're having my dad's 50th birthday, whatever it may be. And at Christmas time, the entire month of December, it's all corporate events. Because people that work at a business are like, I've got the best idea for our Christmas party this year.
For sure.
And they come in and it's turnkey, all the entertainment, all the food, everything is there for you. So it's not like, oh, I have to hire a caterer, I have to go and get, but it's all there. Yeah. So it's simple. I want to simplify it for people.
No doubt. And to go back to the predictability side of things when it comes to a business model, luckily I actually didn't think of that when I first started my business. I didn't think like, oh, I need a level of predictability. I had an idea for a program and I wanted people to set goals and I wanted people to do habits and have a scoreboard and all this stuff. But the way I have it set up with my business is oftentimes personal trainers just have clients. They just have one-on-one clients and they pay per session. And if they don't show up, then they don't get paid or they have a cancellation fee and it's much smaller. But for me, people sign up for me for 10 weeks at a time. And if they don't show up because they're sick or because they're lazy, which doesn't happen, then I still get paid.
Yeah.
And so I know when people sign up for the 10 weeks, I know what I'm getting paid for, at least for that 2.5 months. And so a level of predictability is so key when it comes to peace of mind and actual numbers for a business. Now, one of the things that I told you that I was most impressed by with the whole experience is the level of friendliness, the level of like a family feel and the culture
Yeah.
that you and your staff have.
Sure.
Right when we walked in, we were welcomed. Right when we walked in, we were sat down, we were spoken to with positivity. And when everybody got there, it was like everybody wanted to take care of you. They talked to you about the experience. They always smiled. And so I was just so impressed with the culture. And the thing that surprises me is, or I don't know if surprises me, but impresses me, is this was your baby. This was your idea. You had so much passion behind it because this is kind of how you grew up. And this was the thing that you experienced with your family and you did with your family. And so that gives you so much gumption and so much passion behind it. How do you create that same level of passion and enthusiasm in other people when it's not necessarily their story or their baby?
I think that that's infectious to people. Now, of course, we've run through our share of people that were not a great fit for it, as every business does. I really feel like that comes from the top down, you know, and for lack of a better word, I used to tell my son, number one rule, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Be good to people and they'll be good to you. You know, treat your staff like they're your family and really treat them that way. Everybody says, oh, you guys are family to us. And then, you know, I can't do this anymore. You're out.
Yeah.
You know? So
what does that look like when you say actually treat your staff like your family? Like what are some examples that you might be like proud of or that you guys have built in that makes it so they actually feel like family?
You have to create an environment where people want to go that extra mile for you. And you're only going to get that if you do that for them. And, you know, there are nights when it was a slow night and I knew people needed money. I'd cover them. I'd throw extra money into the tip pool. You know, when somebody was in a situation where they had a situation where they needed money for something else.
Yeah.
I'll cover you. We'll take it out of your check. You know, things like that. And just being kind to people.
Yeah.
You know, kindness doesn't cost you a dime. And if you're just good to people, they'll be good to you. And of course, you're always going to get somebody that does not get that. They don't appreciate that, and they're going to come back at you. And you know, they'll steal from you. They'll not treat your customers the way that they want to be treated. And I think what happens is, from a business standpoint, sometimes you get into a position where it's a false sense of security. Like, oh, this person does a good job for me, so it's okay if she's a jerk to somebody, you know, once or twice a month. Or this guy does a really good job, but he's late every day. You know, those kind of things, you get into a position where you're comfortable with it because it's not causing you any drama.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. But you can't be fine with that stuff. The second you see it, you have to put a stop to it because it will just get worse and worse and worse as time moves on.
No doubt.
And you're in a fortunate position where you don't have employees.